Hello, my name is Diana Dumlawala, and I'd like to introduce to you Prelude in C minor, Opus 8, No. 1 by Henryk Pachulski. This is a relatively unknown gem from the intermediate level repertoire, and it's a great way to introduce your students to the lyricism and lush harmonies often found in romantic repertoire. It's also a great piece for adult students who may have more sophisticated tastes, but technique that is still developing. There are a number of pedagogical features found in this piece. First off, students learn to develop a natural sense of rubato. Actually play the piece at the piano, I think there are a couple of steps that can be helpful in preparation for learning this piece. I like to have my students actually write out lyrics that can go along with the melody. In this way, they can actually sing the text with the melody and develop a natural sense of phrasing so that when they play it at the piano, it will feel a lot more easy for them and it will just feel more natural. Here's an example of something I've come up with for the first four measures. Throughout the day I cried so many tears that If they'll be able to sing it, it's more likely that they'll be able to play it. Also, there can be some tricky cross rhythms that some students might have difficulty with, especially if they haven't encountered anything similar in their past repertoire. The left hand has constant triplets, and the right hand has some dotted rhythms. So it's really important that students know how to align those rhythms before they actually play the pitches at the piano. Therefore, it can be helpful to simply tap out the rhythms in both hands before learning the notes. There are also some examples where the right hand actually aligns with the left hand triplet, so both hands are playing triplets. Therefore, students really need to understand and feel the difference between those aligned triplets in both hands and the triplet, the parts where there's a triplet in the left hand and a dotted rhythm in the right hand. As you move forward with teaching the piece, make sure your students really understand and are aware of the voice leading found in the left hand. There's some really interesting harmonies, and when they have to memorize the piece, they'll have a better idea of what's going on in the left hand if they know where the common tones and the changing notes are. In the first four measures, we can hear how the melodies move from, or the harmony rather, moves from one chord to the next. So here we have the tonic. Also, the balance between the hands is very important in this piece. The left hand has a thick texture and can very easily overpower the right hand, which is only a single line. Therefore, things like ghost playing the left hand while actually playing the right hand can help the students to balance those two parts. It's also important, though, for students to note how the left hand needs to be supportive of the right hand. So we don't want the left hand accompaniment completely hidden in the background. Sometimes if the right hand has a note that is longer, the left hand may be needed to help simulate and give the impression of a crescendo. So just in these first two measures, we can see how that can happen. So right here, my left hand is going to be helping create the crescendo for the right hand. So that supportive left hand can really make or break how beautiful that right hand is going to sound. Finally, students really need to be sensitive to the harmonic language. That can influence phrasing and rubato. There's a really good example in measures 9 and 10 where the right hand just has a quarter note that's held over the bar line with a tie, but the left hand has a really interesting part, and it's helpful to use some rubato to bring that out. Here it comes. And that can lead to a more satisfying conclusion of the phrase at the cadence. So I hope this gives you some ideas of how you can incorporate this in your teaching literature and introduce this to your students. This is a beautiful piece to introduce the romantic style to students, and it's great preparation for students who will eventually be playing music by Chopin.